Very, very good evening to everyone. We are here with yet another session, but this session is very different because we are having the virtual session, and this virtual talk is all about homeopathy. So we'll introduce our speaker today. Today with us, Dr. Jay Aditya ji. He is an intern in the Alvas Homeopathic Medical College in Bangalore. Currently, he gave us a time, which is very much important because he's serving people in this COVID hospital. So that is very great, sir, to come on our platform and to share what perspective you see in the daily life in your 4 year experiences in homeopathy. So I would love that we will have the very good conversation and very good Q&A session, which is required for all the students who go through the Ayush system of medicine. So I'll
Yes,
request uh,
yeah.
if anything I miss out in your introduction, please
No,
forgive me
no, no,
for
no. That's absolutely, that was more than what was required. So, yeah. So, like privileged to be a part of this. I I was asked like 2 days ago regarding this, and I couldn't agree more because it's a talk on something which is the need of our right now. And I'm very much thankful to you personally, to ask me to speak for this and to go through this question and answer session. And I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Thank you
So
so
yeah,
much. I will start our Q&A session. The first question will
yes.
be to you. How can we improve
Mhm.
our approach towards being healthy through your system?
The only approach, if you'd ask me, whether it is through our system or any system, I would like to say that, balanced diet is the one thing that is required for every being. Second is like balanced diet, as in all the nutrients involved and all the things that is necessary for one to maintain a perfect health, like all the micronutrients, all the macronutrients, all the required nutrients in a perfect balanced diet. Secondly, mental exercises. And oblique meditation and physical exercises according to age, that is very important for all of us to be active, especially in this kind of pandemic where we are, most of us are stuck at home, and most of us are just sitting in front of our laptops, watching movies. Some people work from home, and for some people it's like attending online classes and all that. So it's very important for us to have a very good amount of physical exercise, which is very much necessary for every human being. But according to age, you can't do, you shouldn't do uh, more than what is required for your age. So I think this is the only approach from my side for everyone who is wanting to suggest them an approach to be healthy.
We'll proceed for another question that what is short-term and long-term prognosis in homeopathy?
Short term and long term, uh, short term and long term prognosis of what? COVID? Because if it is COVID or non-COVID, it depends upon, like the comorbidity again. As we all know, like diabetes mellitus, hypertension, malignancies, or any autoimmune disorders, hypothyroidism, definitely these have no good prognosis. So if you're healthy, if you're fine and you don't have any of these comorbidities, obviously it is very good. And about the short term, we all know, like we need to take vaccine, which provides us the herd immunity. And the second thing is long term, that we need to practice by following all the four steps that we all know by now, washing our hands every now and then, sanitizing it, wearing a mask, and maintaining a social distance, that will give you a long term. It is very helpful for a long term prognosis. And every system has its own way of tackling this pandemic. Likewise, homeopathy also has its own way of tackling this pandemic. that is by giving the immune boosters that is helpful for every individual. Actually, our system believes in individualization, so we don't really give the medicines. Suppose if any other system, some of the medicines that are given for fever, that medicine is given only to fever and nothing else. But in ours, it is not like that. Everyone's case is taken individually, and a similar medicine is a remedy is prescribed, according to which you can prevent the further destructive processes that takes place to your body due to any, be it pandemic, sporadic, epidemic, whatever the disease is. So I think this is what I can answer for now.
This is so great to cover all the perspective which is required as of now. And my third question will be, how will we know if the homeopathy medication is working in this pandemic or not?
Okay. For even in this pandemic or even without the pandemic, our medicine works, and that can be known in 3 ways. That is, one thing is that as soon as you take the medicine and it is perfectly suiting the simillimum, or it is similar to your symptoms, the set of symptoms that has arised in a person's constitution or a body, first thing to note is that the person will have a feeling of well-being, even though the symptoms has not disappeared completely, or it is not disinclined completely. You will always have a feeling of well-being, that your sleep will be better if it is disturbed because of the complaint. Your appetite will be better if it has been in. Hello?
Yeah, carry on, no issues.
Okay. So, sorry, there was again light issue, electricity issue.
No problem.
Since I'm living in a hostel, it's tough here.
It's okay.
Yeah, so feeling of well-being is the one thing that comes up, as I explained you. And also second thing, even if chronic symptoms, suppose, if you have chronic symptoms, you are suffering from a chronic disease, your older symptoms or your symptoms that were present before getting suppressed, they start to reappear, they start to come out. For example, you had a long-standing eczema, okay, from a very long time, and you have taken some, and that has been subsided because of some kind of medications that you took long back, be it any system. But then now you are suffering from COVID and you have taken steroids because of it, and the eczema has subsided because of those medicines that you've taken. But again, you take homeopathic medications, a particular simillimum remedy, and then a little bit of itch starts to reappear, to show its presence once again, like you had it before when it started. Suppose it started before 6 years, and you've taken steroids for COVID now, and the symptoms have started reappearing in a way it started 6 years before. So this is to show that it is working in my favor. It is working in the favor.
Yes. So our next question will be, what risk and benefits are associated with the treatments what we undergo?
Okay, homeopathic treatment for COVID, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now about the risk and benefits, there are more benefits, I can say. There are benefits if correct medications or correct similar simillimum is being administered. for a limited amount of time. Be it some medicine is administered in a particular perfect dose required for the patient's constitution, required for the subject's constitution. Okay. Now, the next question that is, you have asked me about the risks and benefits of homeopathic treatment or homeopathic management to this particular pandemic, that is COVID. I would say there are many benefits for that. The benefits are like there are many medications that are suited as a particular simillimum or a similar medicine, a perfect simillimum if it is being administered to the patient who is suffering from COVID for a limited period of time. Of course, like if it is 230 or 1 m, 10 m, 0 bar 1, 0 bar 2, 0 bar 3, whatever the potency is, for a particular limited time period. Not only the acute symptoms, but also chronic symptoms, and also the comorbidity can be managed through that. So that is the benefits. Okay. So basically you are, and also constitutional type of treatment. It is based on your physical makeup, mental makeup of your body, of the subject's constitution, and according to that, we'll do the case taking. We'll take out all the symptoms, and a perfect simillimum is taken and is administered to the patient through all the three means of administration, be it anything, be it tactile, be it through the, by ingestion or by inhalation, whatever it is. These are the benefits. And also miasmatic treatment, anti-miasmatic treatment, that is also available, that can help you check your genetic history, what all familial diseases you are prone to get, and an anti-miasmatic treatment can help you get rid of any disease that you are going to go through in the near future as well. But the risks, I would like to say, it is much more dangerous if you are not administered with the right medicine. That is when, if certain, I would like to give you with an example, like in now this black fungus and yellow fungus and white fungus thing is going on. If in certain mucormycosis, there is this thing that happens soon after that, after your entire face is covered by the fungus, and be it fecal core or arsenic you have used to prevent the disease. Basically, it's a surgical disease, and it's like a dead end for us. So you can't just try that just because you want to test the efficacy of medicine, because it's a surgical disease, and we shouldn't tackle that if we know that we cannot tackle with it, and that is the risk of using homeopathy in this particular pandemic. That is what I would like to say.
So we had a wonderful question and answer session till now, and I'll ask few more questions to you. And my next question will be, what are the homeopathy treatments of homeopathy treatment which are required to reach an optimal health, which everyone tell about the ideal health situation, optimal health. So what do you think about that?
Homeopathy acts in many ways. It acts to it acts well to alleviate the acute symptoms in emergencies. When you apply proved uh, and proved medicines, potentized medicines, similar medicine, correcting all the simillimum and cracking all the simillimum that with the symptoms of the patient that matches with the symptoms of the remedy. So basically, there are many medicines like Aspidospharma, Veratrimoxim, Carbovegetabilis, Camphor, which have helped enormously in elevating the acute symptoms in emergencies. And also it has amply proved so many cases. So, for example, elevating in SpO2 levels in a patient who has suddenly started to drop the SpO2 levels. In such cases, you can see it acts within 10 seconds after being administered, after the patient is administered with Carbovegetabilis mother tincture, in any dosage required for the patient. And also of course, we all know homeopathy is known for treating or palliating the chronic cases. Be it chronic cases take a bit longer time, or it has a bit longer time duration for restoration of health or to cure. But that is a curative process. It's called as a curative phase, because you have 10 years of a disease and you can't expect a medicine to cure within 10 days. It takes its own time. So to act, also the subject's constitution, subject's symptoms, and the symptoms of the remedy also matters a lot. So we need to find a perfect simillimum by taking the case, all the past history, genetic history, family history, treatment history, surgical history, all these history we have to take, and all the symptoms that are present in the presenting complaint and also in the past, the life space of the patient, the mental generals, the physical generals, all these things are very important. We homeopaths, as you all know, we do a long case taking. It will be like for minutes and minutes. So just to arrive at the totality. Totality is a collective symptoms that are, that arrives at the end of the case taking, which is helpful to find out a correct, perfect simillimum. Now, that takes a bit of a time, of course. So as we all know, acute cases, treating them is also easy, but then chronic cases, it takes a bit long. But then it's curative process. We have to wait and watch is the best thing we can do. And also palliation. You might have heard about palliative therapy in cases of non-curable diseases. So in this, it takes a very short time, as there are ample of medicines that have proved right in this case. So I would like to say that it's all depends upon the physician, how the physician builds a rapport with the patient, how he takes out the case, how he takes out all the symptoms necessary for the person. I mean, for him to arrive at a totality, and then he'll repertorize the case, and then he'll arrive at a similar or a perfect simillimum remedy with which you can find the cure.
That was the approach homeopath should have to take a proper case history. And it's not about any system of medicine. It's about if you take a proper case history, you can reach to the proper root cause of disease, as we all talk in all the IU system of medicine. So my next question will be how the patient will know that this treatment will take this much amount of time. So how long will the homeopathy treatments take in a particular pandemic, if we talk about this, or some acute diseases like fever, cold, cough, which is a very common, but how you can say like a patient will come to you and you will have a belief that 3 days is enough, 5 days are enough in that way.
Okay. Again, the same thing, like as we all know, if we talk about acute condition, symptom or symptom syndrome, both can be equally well covered if the remedy is correct. If the physician is successful in arriving at a proper totality, takes a case history, then if you arrive at you don't have to do an entire case taking for that. All the existing representing symptoms, even both the subjective and objective symptoms, are enough for the physician to arrive at a medicine, a remedy. And to administer that, it covers both symptom and also like symptom syndrome along with it. Now, by what I mean by symptom syndrome is that not only COVID, especially in COVID, when when somebody finds out that they're positive, the whole shock, the whole what to say, mental symptoms that the patient goes through is higher than the disease itself. So that you can call it as a symptom syndrome, and also the symptoms that are along with it. That is, be it cough, anosmia, and loss of appetite, and headache, and cough, throat soreness, and breathing difficulty. All these things. These are all the acute symptoms, acute exacerbation of an acute disease. So in chronic conditions, usually we go for anti-miasmatic treatment, as I told you in the beginning. This is a guarantee, and we can reliable on this to cure. For example, if a person, his family is prone to get diabetes, it has a diabetic gene in them, basically. So if you already know that you are prone to that, one thing is that you can all these lifestyle management we all know, but also in homeopathy we deal with anti-miasmatic treatment. Miasm is nothing but a pollutant or something that causes the disease. Okay, so anti-miasmatic treatment, if you take, it is guarantee and reliable so that you can approach to cure. But emergencies are treated differently. As I told you, if the patient's oxygen saturation is dripping rapidly, and we have ample of medicines like Aspidosperma, Carbo vegetabilis, camphor, this has elevated the acute symptoms to a level that it was not even seconds, it was not even fraction of seconds, that we have ample of proved cases that has, that was useful with homeopathy when it came to the matter of emergencies. So this is how I can say that we can tell the patients like the duration of treatment or whatever it is. But for chronic, you'll need to wait for the curative process to complete, for the curative phase to get over, to arrive at the cure or restoration of health. So that's all I would like to say.
Okay, so we'll have next question, that how patients can take an active role in homeopathy, that they can care of themselves in this pandemic and be safe in their homes. Because awareness is one side, but being safe with the system which you are believed, so that is another way. So how you take this patient or the person approach to a different level to take basic medicine to keep their immune system very good?
That's a really nice question. I appreciate that because, and it's very important because, the ultimately, it's in patient's hands. It's in, ultimately it is in the patient's hand, or be it any system, homeopathy, allopathy, naturopathy, any pathies, or any doctor, be it whatever they suggest, whatever they give you the treatment, you take a case history for like 1 hour, you arrive at a simillimum, you repertorize the case, you research the entire history, and you give them a perfect simillimum going through all your radar softwares and all that. That's what we use to repertorize the case, basically. So when you give that and the patient doesn't take the medicine, tell me who's at the fault. It's absolutely in patient's hand to maintain their own health, or whether to or whether not to be safe is in their hands. Again, for that, one needs, as I said in the beginning, to keep themselves away from all these things. You just, once you are suffering from COVID, there's no going back. All the destructive processes that has happened in your body is not going to revert back, you see. It's only going to stop. The medicine is going to stop the progress of the disease. It cannot revert the body back to the place where it started. So it's better to cure. That's why there is a proverb saying prevention is better than cure, you see. So for that, one needs to prevent the disease. It is always better than cure. So for that, I would like to say that one need to, have a balanced diet, including all the micro and macronutrients, and mental and physical exercises according to, if you're doing yoga, well and good. As I'm a follower of yoga since the time I have done a course at Syasa for that. So I'm really grateful for that journey too. But then why I brought that point in is because till now I've been healthy and fit, only because of those mental and physical exercises that I've learned through that one particular course or journey. And also there is a difference between exercise and exertion. People are like, if I do more, I'll get fit. If I'll be like, do 100 push-ups and 500 dips, I'll be like, like all that squats and all that. uh, I'll be fit and I'll be, healthy and all that. There is a difference between exercise and exertion. Exercise is what the minimal amount of physical activity needed for your body, and exertion is more than maximal, and you exhaust yourself through all the practices that you do. So there is a thin line between these two. One needs to understand that. And by homeopathic approach, again, as I'm a homeopath and I can talk about that, select a constitutional remedy, or to take no sorts depending upon the family history. As I told you, in your family, whatever diseases you are prone to get, that particular no sort that suits the symptom similarity, you have to take that, so that you are preventing the ample of diseases that you're going to go through in the near coming future. So, and also, with this, you can be protected to some extent from the complications of the third wave. So it's like, uh, we have many things like genus epidemicus. Genus epidemicus is basically when there is an epidemic or a pandemic, we collectively collect the common symptoms that is present in all the individuals in a particular group, and we go through the most uncommon of those symptoms, and we make a group of that, and we take a totality, we try to match it with the remedy, and we give that particular, we arrive at a simillimum, we arrive at one particular medicine or remedy that is to be administered among that group of people. So that develops an immunity, that is herd immunity, so that you fight against the upcoming complications, be it third wave that is coming in the near future. God forbid that happens, but I've been listening a lot of discussions regarding that. So this is how you can say. Ultimately, I would like to say that it is in the patient's hands, basically. So one can, if at all a doctor, we all are going for the duties, and we are all wearing PPE kits and trying to serve people, and people are not ready to take that. It's not in our hands. It's ultimately in the patient's hands, in the person's hands, to take care of themselves, take care of their family, take care of the surrounding, so that we can stop this menace that is going on in the society. So it has to be ultimately the people that has to be doing something to stop this, and I think we can all beat it if we join hands in hands. So that's all I would like to say.
Thank you so much. The questions, what we have discussed, it's in totality, as you said in your one answer. And this last answer was in totality, as I say. One more question I wanted to ask, and it's not about the system, it's about you, that how you perceive your things in this career and what motivates you. Do we continue your like pathy, to be continue your passion in the same pathy, or to continue people to come over to this system? That is very much required. Who motivates you? First of all, if I ask, who motivates you?
Uh, Now that is another beautiful question. You are really good with questions, I must say, Dr. Bhavit. So yeah, the thing is, who motivates me? I am a very observant person. I observe a lot of things around me, and I instantly pick up which is good. I instantly lap it up into my system, which is positive. I think that's what motivates me, because I just sit and watch what is going on around, and what are we supposed to do. What all these things. I'm a very observant person, as I told you. So when you imbibe a lot of positivity in you, and there is no negative bone in your body, that is enough for you to uh, you know go further in your journey, whatever your passion is. Small or big, you just have to go for it. All you need to do is just jot it down, whatever you want to do in your coming future. You just stick it in front of you wherever you wake up in the morning, and you keep going through it, so that you know what to do in that particular days, uh, on that particular day, that it doesn't go wasted. And ultimately, staying positive, because positivity is the thing that brings you know everything in a back in line. So I think staying positive is the thing that motivates me, and observing people around me, and reading articles about people who have achieved, and also yeah, that's it. Staying positive and just helping people around. I think that's what keeps me doing what I'm doing right now. So that's what that's all I can say. I hope that covered your question though.
Yeah, it covered, and it's a vast question, what I say. But my question is to you that who motivates you in homeopathy? Like who is your guru, what we say in homeopathy?
Definitely the founder, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, all the pioneers that have written these wonderful articles regarding the curative effects of all these remedies, be it T.F. Allen, be it Dr. Stuart Claus, be it J.T. Kent, all these people, reading their books, it is pretty philosophical. Ours is a very philosophical concept. It is philosophically oriented and dynamically driven. So that is what motivates me, because when you read it, they have not just written books out of their clinical experiences. You can see their feelings. You can see their amount of uh, hard work that they've put on. So that is enough for you, enough for me to motivate myself to treat patients, and also my seniors and my senior doctors that have taught me about so many clinical things that we are not normally taught in our classes. In our classes, we just go through books, we just read them, we try to understand them, we give our exams, we go through the practical and clinical classes, we visit hospitals, bedside vivas, everything. These are all just the protocol that we follow. But ultimately, one thing we should always have for us to motivate ourselves is, I think, as there is a proverb, books are our best friends. We should all keep reading our pioneers books, who have found this amazingly beautiful system called as homeopathy. So I would say these are my motivation.
That is so great, and I must say that you talked about your seniors and you talked about what you have understood, and that is the required thing. Not as a student, as a doctor, too. You must learn with your colleagues, with your juniors, with your seniors, as a doctor, as an observer. And if we do the same thing as every doctor in the system of any kind of medicine, like it is homeopathy, naturopathy,
Yeah,
Ayurveda,
yeah,
we will be the best, and nobody can ask a question that what you are doing and how can we improve. If we can improve all together, if we are united in the same. So,
yes,
so what's your concluding thought on our platform, as you have been answered so many questions? So what will be your
yeah, yeah.
concluding thought?
Uh, I would like to conclude by saying, see, be it any system, nowadays people are having a lot of, turmoils regarding which system to choose. We always had this question like, which system is better? But the thing is, that debate shouldn't exist in itself, because you see now in this pandemic, when you go to any facilitation center, any hospital, or any physician, they are collectively giving you all the medicines, including Ayush and also the other medications that are required. So where did it come now? Like, where did that emerge from? Basically, we needed a pandemic like this for us to get this awareness in mind that, no system is less, no system is more. Everything works hand in hand the best. So I would love to say that if people know when to opt which system, or what to believe in, it ultimately in, again, the patient's hand, in the people's hand, what to choose for themselves. So I wouldn't say that, there are benefits in this system, merits in this system, demerits in that system. I never do that, or neither anyone should, because if we all, the mankind, we all work hand in hand, I think we can all beat this pandemic. Why do you think during the lockdowns the cases are less in number? That only means that if we collectively do what is required, it can beat anything that comes, in front of us. So I think unity is the best thing. And also, um, we need to follow all the protocols, that is, the guidelines for COVID, that is, wearing masks and protecting yourself, uh, and also washing your hands again and again, uh, with a good disinfectant, and sanitizing your hands again and again, so that you are free from all the, and also maintaining a proper social distancing, a proper hygiene, and also, taking care of yourself, your loved ones, and also the surrounding, also the people, the entire humanity, basically. So I think that is what required. That is the need of the hour. So if we do that, we can beat anything. Not only COVID-19, but also we have come through a long journey. We have eradicated literally the polio. We have literally eradicated plague altogether. You see, H1N1. There was also a phase where, chikungunya, all these things, all these pandemics. So I think we can get over this too if we collectively, unitedly, all together, the entire humankind goes hand in hand with the help of all the systems of medicine, having a belief and faith in the universe that it makes everything right one or the other day. So I would like to say to everyone that just for now, as it is lockdown, please stay home, stay safe, and do uh, what keeps you productive. Don't let the quarantine boredom take over. You should always keep yourself creative. You should always keep yourself uh, from getting. We have all heard this, depression and all that thing. So only thing is that one positive thing this COVID-19 has done is, like, it has brought us all together. You see, in quarantine, at home, everyone is sitting together, having breakfast together, and, watching whatever they want together, which never happened before. It was a rare sight for any urban area person, who goes for work like at morning and comes back in the evening where their children are asleep, and, they can't even sit together. They can't even be together. So we should be optimistic and see what is positive in this pandemic too, that we are all brought together. And now that I am talking to you and I'm reaching out to all the people with this wonderful message. So we should be thankful for COVID-19 in some cases, cases like this, because it has also done good and also bad. And let us not focus on the bad, as the media is already focusing too much on it. So we should be the one to focus on good. So let us do that all together. That's all I can say. So stay positive. That's it.
So it was a great talk. I must say, it's in totality. If you talk about humanity, if you talk about humanity of our system, if you talk
Mhm.
about humanity of other system too, that we are lacking in that, and if you unite together for serving the people or for serving the humanity in this universe, might could be any other pandemic, we can save people in any kind of pandemic. It's not a big trouble. I thank you
Yes, yes,
from my whole team to come on our platform to give your 45 to 50 minutes, which was so great. And if anyone who is watching this, you must learn so many things from Dr. Jay Aditya. And I must say, if we can meet officially on the offline mode, that would be
sure,
great, much
sure.
great to learn. And this was
Yes,
our
yes,
first
yes.
session on the virtual homeopathy talk. And hope we can connect more doctors through you. We can connect more number of
Sure, sure.
students through you. And that would be
Yes,
all
yes.
for today. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you so much on your growth, and especially Dr. Bhavit, for collaborating, for asking for the collaboration. It was my pleasure to connect to you, and through all these, and to connect to all these people who are watching it right now. So I would like to thank everyone, especially this student platform, and especially Dr. Bhavit that asked for the collaboration. I am privileged to be a part of this. It's a part of my pleasure, I would like to say, and hope to see many upcoming creative talk sessions in future, so that we can discuss and go through many other interesting topics like these. So thank you so much. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, doctor, and thank you those who are watching us. It's not about you should connect to us, you should learn with us. That's our motto. And that's what
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah.
say at last. Thank you everyone. Thank you.